Just when you thought the 3 points were secured, Wolves go and concede a 94th minute equaliser to none other than Joao Palhinha. Now, what a frustrating game of football. If I'm being completely honest, I thought Wolves were absolutely exceptional tonight. And that's going to sound absolutely crazy, I'm sure, when you look at the scoreline if you haven't watched the game. But I just thought they were so good. 94 minutes of that game, they were absolutely brilliant. John Arias, for me, a game of sort of two halves for him, really. I thought, first half, corners, set pieces, general touches just weren't that great. His corners barely beat the first man. Obviously, ultimately, the Santiago Bueno goal comes from a Jean Arias corner. But generally, I thought he was poor in the first half. But second half, I thought he was brilliant. Barely gave the ball away. Wanted to get on the ball, make things happen. I think he created 3 chances in the end as well. And generally, I thought he had a really good performance. Now, what a frustrating result. As I've said, because it was such an impressive performance. Now, if you look at it as a sort of a game as a whole, Wolves played so well for 94 minutes of that game. But ultimately, you can't afford to throw games like that away. You just can't. Especially when Wolves are in a position that they're in. They just cannot be throwing results like that away. I did think that going to a back five was a stupid decision. But ultimately, Wolves looked absolutely solid in that second half. I thought Chachua looked really good when he come on. A few poor balls into the box, but generally, I thought his work rate was great. There was that tackle on Van der Ven in the 92nd minute as well to cut out an attack. And generally, I thought he played really well. And I thought, as I say, I'm going to repeat it numerous times, Wolves played really well now in terms of the line-up. Sam Johnston, someone I wanted to see start. I thought he played really well again. Great save from Kudus in that first half as well. I thought he was really impactful in that aspect of the game. It's a really gutting one to discuss because it should be a positive video because of the performance. It really should, and the togetherness and the unity. But the result is what matters at the end of the day for Wolves in the current situation. And 1 point out of that game simply isn't good enough and isn't deserved whatsoever. I really do feel for all of you who've gone tonight or watched it tonight because it is a frustrating one. Now, the positives, there are a lot to take from it. As I've said, the actual performance was great. Team togetherness was great. The midfield, anyone who stepped into that midfield today, really, other than, Marshall Monetti I think he had a decent game, to be honest. I think Joao Gomez and Andre were a joke. Andre especially, obviously, Joao Gomez goes off for Bellegarde. I think Bellegarde comes on and puts a shift in as well, which he so often does. Not ridiculously effective, but wins a few fouls. Gives a few fouls away as well. And generally thought he did okay. But ultimately, Andre, for me, I know Jean Arias has been awarded Sky's man of the match, but ultimately for me, I think Andre was by far the best player on the whole pitch, to be quite honest. I think when you look at that squad, I think he is by far the best player in that squad for me. It's him and Joao Gomez are the two best players in this current Wolves squad for me. And he was by far the best player on the pitch tonight. I thought he was absolutely brilliant. His touches were great. Interceptions. Felt like he won every tackle he went in for. Felt like he won every duel. And just generally, I thought he was absolutely exemplary tonight. And there's no bigger compliment than I can give him than saying that he was the best player in the park. Now, let's look at the overall team and look at it from a less sort of minimal breakdown, and we'll sort of analyse it a bit deeper. Now, in terms of the game alone, I think, as I say, I thought the back line were great. I thought Bueno played really well, or Santiago and Hugo, to be honest. I thought, in terms of, the goal, it's a very scrappy goal, but it's the type of goal you need to get in a game like that. Of course, Krejci again for me, I just can't really remember him putting a foot wrong. I think overall, he is by far the calmest head, the most level-headed in that defence. And also, probably the best on the ball in that defence as well. I think he's so comfortable on it. And I said that when Wolves did sign him, and one of the reasons I thought he'd be a great signing. Now, as well, I think he's leadership material, leadership quality, and he has a lot of those qualities in him. Now, it's going to be one of them, as I say, that people will look at it maybe as a negative, but, Wolves have got 1 point from 6 games. It is a huge worry. I am well aware of that, but if you can't take encouragement from the Everton performance and from this performance tonight, then I don't know what to say to you. I think you're just sort of you're looking for reasons to complain, to be honest, because it is just one moment of brilliance from Polina at the end. I thought he had a really poor game on the whole, really. Then he goes and slots it in. It's a lovely finish and nothing Johnston can do. As I said, Johnston had a really good game. Matt Doherty, for me, I thought he had a really decent game. Obviously, he comes off because he's got that yellow card, comes off at half-time. I just thought he was decent. I know the yellow card he gets is stupid, but he's never getting there, so he may as well just take him out instead of letting the player through on goal, let's be honest. I thought Doherty was pretty solid. His touches were decent. His ability to get forward was decent. And generally, I thought he defended that channel really well. As I say, another one similar to Joao Gomez there. He comes off with 25 minutes to go because ultimately, at the end of the day, he's got a yellow card, but I thought he was absolutely brilliant again. Marshall Netzi. You know my thoughts on Marshall Netzi. Everyone who watches his channel regularly does. I don't rate him as a technical footballer whatsoever. I don't think he impacts games anywhere near enough. But in a game like that today, I thought he was absolutely perfect for it. I thought he worked his socks off. I thought he worked relentlessly. Nowhere near good enough on the ball, but I think he did well. Hwang, for me, I mean, that is one of the worst 45 minutes of football I've ever watched, if I'm being completely honest. And it's not even his worst ever 45 minutes of football, which sounds ludicrous, but Hwang, for me, is just a nothing player. I mean, it's, you know, what sums Hwang up the most is he does an absolutely brilliant touch just past the halfway line, drifts inside, and the pass to Arias is dreadful, and that sums up Hwang, to be quite honest. Strand Larsen, for me, again, he makes 84 minutes in that game. Obviously not fully fit yet. I thought he worked his socks off, and he won't get any credit. I'm well aware he won't get any credit, and Wolves fans might not give him any credit because at the end of the day, he hasn't stuck the ball in the back of the net, but he barely had a chance to, and I thought he worked relentlessly off the ball, and you can't fault his work rate whatsoever, and especially in a team that is struggling for points. I think everyone needs to be working as hard as they can, and I thought today everyone worked tirelessly. And then, as I said with Arias, it was a game of two halves for him. Now, if we look at the subs as well, I thought the subs were very interesting, as I've briefly touched on there. Totti, we're not even going to really discuss that. There was no point in really discussing that. Tolu, I thought he did okay when he come on. Obviously wins a free kick. Tries to make things happen, holds the ball up in the corner, looks decent, if we're being completely honest. And then, as I said, Bellegarde, I thought he did well when he come on. Chachua thought he did well when he come on. Agbadu did okay. He made me scared a few times, as he often does at the minute, with his passing and his lackadaisical approach on the ball, we'll say. I think that's the nicest way you can probably put it. But I do think it's really unfortunate, to be quite honest, because there's so much quality in this side, and we did see it a lot tonight. We saw a good performance tonight. It was a good performance, whether people like to say that or not. Now, of course, it's not been an ideal day for results. Obviously, it looked like Burnley were going to get a result against Man City at one point. Ultimately, they ended up getting smashed 5-1. Sunderland, huge result against Nottingham Forest away. I thought they played absolutely brilliantly and defended like Trojans. And I said it earlier, this is what Wolves need to be doing. And Wolves did do that tonight. They really did. They defended so well. They were comfortable on the ball. They were playing football. They were playing their game. They weren't giving Spurs any time to think. I thought Lucas Bergvall, a player that I rate so highly, I thought he really struggled tonight. Could have arguably got sent off as well. And generally, they made him look average. I thought they made Polina look average. I thought Kudus did, he had a really good 20 minutes in the first half. Same with Xavi Simons. But after that, I didn't think he did a hell of a lot. Richarlison, limited to minimal chances. Brennan Johnson didn't do a hell of a lot either. Pedro Porro, not too much of an impact. And generally, as I say, Wolves made Spurs look like the side that were lower in the table ultimately. And I think they played really well. Now, I really want to know your opinions, because your opinions at the end of the day, as Wolves fans, are the ones that matter most. I love having discourse in the comment section with you, because it's really intriguing to hear what you guys think. I think most of you will be pretty similar with me tonight. I don't think you can be disappointed about that performance at all. I don't think you can be disappointed about the tactics either. And I've been very disappointed in Vitor Pereira this season so far. And for me, I think he got his spot on tonight. So ultimately, it's a really frustrating one to take. It's a hard one to take. It's an annoying one to take. But as I've just said to people around me as I was watching the game, if Wolves can play like that every week, they'll be absolutely fine this season. The only issue is everyone around them is playing like that as well. So it's going to be a really tough season, a long old season. I really do hope Wolves can continue this run of form, because they played so well tonight. They looked a lot better against Everton. Krejci has to be in that back line. It has to be a back four moving forward, in my personal opinion. If you did enjoy this video, please like the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already. I'd very much appreciate it. Get in the comments, let me know what you thought about tonight's game. And I'll see you all in the next one.